Hello, Twin Force Fusion here, and I'll try to this video, by the way, it's all gonna be about numbers. It's regarding the dyno polls I made on Wednesday morning on a Maha chassis dyno. I was reading about it, and after discussing about the dyno shop, they told me it reads exactly like a Mustang dyno. So the numbers on the wheels will be a little lower versus, let's say, a dyno jet. So let's start with the factory. By the way, for disclosure, all of these will be with 94 Sunoco 94 fuel and a BBK 65mm throttle body and a K&N panel filter. Okay, so just keep that in mind. On, let's say you dyno your car, you may have lower number on a Mustang dyno jet, but on a dyno jet you should have similar number. So if we look at the factory here, you could see the engine as it's let's see if I could focus more. 322.5 horse, and the wheel horsepower is 256.9. Torque is at 367.8. So the drag loss on this car is 65.6 HP. So it's about 19%. It's I think 18.8 or something like that. And this is based off the rotational mass. That dyno actually will measure the weight of everything that turns from the engine to the tread itself on the rollers. And thing interesting, I'm looking at the factory wheel horsepower, 256.9. Don't forget that's on a Mustang dyno. It's very similar to Livernoise on a dyno jet when it's stock. See, it's you guys won't see it, but I'll tell you the number, 257.31. So it's very similar. The curve is also similar. Now the yellow line here, that's the wheel horsepower. Okay, that's OEM. And the orange is engine horsepower. So it gives you an idea. So peak, if you just look at peak, it's all 257 stock. And on the engine itself, it's like 222.5. And the blue line is the torque. So torque on this one, like I mentioned, is 367. So let's move up. This is the with the Livernoise Motorsport Stage 3 version 6 with the same K&N filter and BBK. Basically, all I did is remove the tune and put the tune. And now we jump. We jump from 256.9 wheel at 302.1. That's peak versus peak. So you're looking like a 48 HP peak. And the engine, it's 371 horsepower. You can see it here. And for the torque, we're almost at 405. So 404.5 at 3720. So if you look at the yellow line again, that's Livernoise Motorsport at the wheels. And the orange is Livernoise Motorsport at the engine. So let's move this one. I plotted both and put them on the same. So you could see the gains. And the gains are quite impressive. We'll start with the wheel. The orange, no, this is yellow, this is orange, all right? So the yellow one, you look at the OEM wheels and the Livernoise Motorsport wheel, and if you just look at 6,000 RPM, and a lot of new cars, I know there's always a dip towards the end. I don't know if it's they try to protect or the turbos are small or whatever it is. I noticed even my Impala when I dynoed when it was before the tune, there was a dip towards the end. But you look here, that's a 70 wheel horsepower gain at 6,000 RPM. Yes, the peak is 50 if you compare peak versus peak. But I mean here, you know, you look at 60, like 65, like 70-ish, 70. That's where you'll feel the gain. It's very on the upper range. And the engine is the same thing. Basically, it's just the same thing, but higher. You look at the OEM engine on the bottom, orange, and the LMS on top. The blue, the torque, that's on the wheel and on the engine. So I did not plot the torque curve, factory versus, but it's similar gains. And the same thing, you'll have around 6,000 RPM. You'll have a how you call it? Now, correction. It is the OEM torque. The OEM torque and the LMS torque. So I did. You could see here. There's like a 60-pound gain of wheel compared to the factory. Motorsports, they're right on. You see here on the baseline they have 257 HP peak, and with their 93 tune they have 324. So again it's peak, but more you go towards the end, there's bigger gains here. And the baseline for the torque is 326 on the Dyno jet, don't forget, and on the 374 at the wheels on 93 tune Dyno jet. So overall, I'm very happy with the LMS tune. You know, it's been how you call it, doing its job the way it's supposed to. And I sent all this information to Livernoise Motorsport for their own info and own records if they want to keep it. And also send all that information to Matt Triplett. Matt Triplett, he's the cool guy at Ultimate Performance, where he makes neither the Garrett or Vibrant intercooler for the Fusion Sport. He also makes some downpipes and those EPDM billet engine mount bushing. Now, I already ordered mounts and bushing and all that a week or so ago. It's in transit at the custom. And might as well tell you guys, some know, on Monday morning, I actually called Matt and ordered also the intercooler. And I took the Garrett intercooler. Past experience, I always had great results with Garrett. I have nothing against Vibrant. I do use a lot of their hose coupler on the other project. And actually, I think Vibrant is made in Toronto, or it's a Toronto company. But it doesn't matter. I'm old school, so Garrett is good for me. So that's what it is. Same thing, once I'm going to have the intercooler installed, I'm going to call back La Chute Performance. I says, look, I want another appointment. I want to go on Dyno. And I'm going to do the same thing with the tune and without the tune. So you guys know, let's say if you slap a Garrett intercooler with the little bolt-ons like a throttle body and intake, if it's going to do anything. I personally say more gains with the tune, but you know, I believe truth in numbers, and I speak numbers. So before the video is getting too long, for disclosure, I have no sponsors. I do all this with my own coins, gladly so. That La Chute Performance shop, it's about a good half an hour for me, but it's a nice ride. It's a cool shop. They specialize in Subarus. They're like a Seda for Ford, or Roush, or Mugen for Honda, or whatever. They do all kind of package. They're known worldwide about their Subis, but Subarus are not for me. So stay tuned for more. Garrett and cooler, hopefully I'll have it installed within a week once I get it, and make an appointment on the other week to Dyno it. And from there we'll go with the downpipes and so on and so on. Like I said in my first video, I'm just welcome you in this journey that I document everything, and I'm very anal retentive when I do stuff, because I know a lot of guys, when are you going to do this, when are you going to do that? I do one step at a time. And for me, there's no rush. I rather take my time and do it the right way. So cheers and take care.